This conference will now be recorded.
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् रागादिरोगान् सततानुषक्तान् अशेषकाय प्रसृतान् अशेषान् औत्सुक्यमोहारदिदान् जघान यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै. Namaskaram to all. Today we will be starting our discussion with the description of ojas. In the previous 1.5 slokas, we saw something about the way in which the samanya samprapti of any roga is explained. Dosha dushtaha rasaihi dhadun dushayandi ubhaye malan adhodve sapta shirasi ghani svedavahani cha malaha malayanani syu yathasvam teshwado gadaha. That is what we saw in our previous session. So doshas which are influenced and influenced by the nimitta karanas and advancing to a stage of kopa, dushti, further causes the dushti of dhadus, and together they cause the dushti of mala and malayana, and then the vyadhi happens. Nimitta karanas are present everywhere. Kalartha karmanam yogo hinam ithyadi matrakaha. So there is no situation possible where a person is completely away from the nimitta karanas. Influence of kala, then influence of artha, indriyarthas, and the indriyartha sannikarsham. It is happening all the time. Even while I am talking, you are listening to it, or you are seeing a screen, or you will be touching maybe on the table or some other part. So the contact is always there, and some of them can be hina, adi, or mithya. Similarly, karma, kaya vak chitta bhedena, kaya vak chitta bhedena karma. So some of them can be hina mithyadi yoga. In hina mithyadi yoga, so doshas are always in contact with the nimitta karanas, and some of the contacts can be either hina or adi or mithya. So the potential for dosha dushti, dosha kopam is always there. So theoretically, that way we can assume that the threat of the possibility of a vyadhi or the vyadhi janma is always there continuously. But vyadhi is not always there. Even though the possibility of a Vyadhi Janma is always there. Vyadhi is not always there. So why it is so? When there is Karana, obviously we expect the Karya. So here there is Karana, but Karya is not present always. So all Karanas, even in the presence of Karana, there need not be Karya always necessarily. That is very important. Even though there is presence of Karana, the Karya need not be there always invariably, because if a Karana is to make or bring a Karya, there should not be any pradibandha for that. There should not be any sort of pradibandha. Then only the Karana can make or bring the Karya. So the absence of pradibandhaka is a condition for a Karana to make Karya. Absence of pradibandhaka. So that is known as pradibandhaka abhava. Pradibandhaka abhava. So only when there is pradibandhaka abhavam, the karana will cause the birth of a karya. So here roga is the karya. Nimitta karana is broadly known here as the karana. So in order to the nimitta karanas, in order to cause the genesis of a vyadhi, there should be pradibandhaka abhava, absence of pradibandhaka. So who is the pradibandhaka here? That question is quite obvious. That jitnasa is quite normal. The immediate question is, who is the pradibandhaka here, which prevents the genesis of vikara? Then there is an answer. Who is that pradibandhaka? Ojas is that pradibandhaka. Ojas is. So it is because of the presence of ojas that all the nidanas do not cause vyadhi. When that pradibandhaka abhavam is there, that means abhavam of ojas is there, definitely all nidanas will cause vyadhi. All nidanas will cause vyadhi. So that is how we come to the point of ojas at this point. And then it becomes a necessity to explain what ojas is. What ojas is. So now we find it in the text as ojastu tejo dhadunam shukrandanam param smridam hridayasthamavi vyavi dehasthiti nibandhanam snigdham somatmagam shuddham ishallohida pitakam yannashe niyadam nasho yasmim tishtadi nishpadyante yado bhava vividha deha samshraya. Ojastu tejo dhadunam shuklandanam param smridam hridayasthamabi vyapi Dehasthiti Nibandhanam Snigdham Somatmagam Shuddham Ishallohida Pitagam. Snigdham Somatmagam Shuddham Ishallohida Pitagam. Yannashe Niyadam Nasho Yasmims Tishtadi Nishpadyande Yado Bhavaha Vividhaha Deha Samsraya. Now we will find the meanings of the words. Ojaha, first we will split the words from the compound forms. Ojaha tu tejaha dhaduna shukrandana param smritam hridayastham api vyapi dehasthiti nibandhanam snigdham somatmagam shuddham ईषद् लोहितपीतकम् यन्नाशे नियतं नाशः यस्मिन् तिष्ठति निष्पद्यन्ते यतः भावाः विविधाः देहसंश्रयाः. ओजः तु तेजः ओजः तु तेजः शुक्रान्तानां धातूनां तेजः शुक्रान्तानां धातूनां तेजः तु ओजः स्मृतम्. शुक्रान्तानां धातूनां तेजः तु ओजः स्मृतम्. There is one word called param. We will come to it. So here it says the tejaha of shukrandanam dhadunam, the dhadus which a group or list of dhadus in which the last member is shukra, that is shukrandanam dhadunam. So a list of dhadus, the last member of which is shukra, and there shukrandanam dhadunam, there tejaha, tejas, tejaha tu ojaha smritam, ojaha smritam. In this text or in this context, that tejaha is considered, regarded, or you should understand that it is assumed that this tejas is known as ojas in this context. So ojas is a tejas. Ojas is a tejas. And what is the meaning of that tejas? Tejas may have many meanings. Sometimes it may represent the essence, saram. Sometimes it may represent the tejas is actually a synonym of agni. So it is a synonym of agni by all means in terms of its temperature, ushma, light, prabha, prakasham. So in all those contexts, we can use the word tejas. And sometimes we can see that all these shades of meaning are relevant in our context also. They are all relevant here also. So in a single sentence, it is explained that Shuklandanam dhadunam tejaha saraha prabha prakashaha ushma tejas, that is referred to as ojas in this context. And that param, you can put that param in front of that tejaha. Shukrandanam dhadunam yad param tejaha, or that param tejaha tu ojaha smrudam. So that means param shows the extreme sense. Param here represents the best. So the best tejas, of Shukrandanam dhadunam, all the Shukranda dhadus, is named as ojas. Is named as ojas. And the description continues that ojas hridayastham api vyapi. It is hridayastham. Hridayastham means hridayasthitam. Hridayasthitam api, even though it is hridayasthitam, vyapi, it is vyapi. And it is dehasthiti nibandhanam. Dehasthiti nibandhanam. Dehasthiti, dehasya sthiti, the sustenance, survival of deha, this sharira, is nibandhanam. Nibandhanam means the platform or the base upon which something is firmly seated. So that ojas is the nibandhanam of dehasthiti. It is the adhishthanam. It is the adhishthanam, the foundation, the base, or something to which it is strongly attached, or something to which it is bound. That status is attributed to the ojas. It is hridayasthidam, still it is vyapi. Snigdham, it is snigdham. It is snigdham. Somatmagam, it is somatmagam. Somatmagam means atma. Atma shabdam here reflects the source, reflects the source. So somatmakam means it is made out of soma. Ojasi is made out of soma. And soma represents all the traits which are coming under the Saumya bhavas, Shleshma bhavas, Ambu bhavas, everything related to that trait. Then Shuddham. Shuddham means Nirmalam. Shuddham, it is Nirmalam, having no further refining required, and from which no further separation of mala possible. That is why we call it as Shuddham. Ishal Lohita Pitakam. Ishad Lohita Pitakam. Its presence is represented by Ishad, a little bit of Lohita Pitaka Varnam, red and yellow colors, reddish yellow or yellowish red, or maybe a bit orange as well, because everyone knows that when they are mixing together, what is going to happen. So up to this, the characteristics of Ojas is explained in 2 lines. First one is the explanation or definition. Shukrandanam dhadunam param tejaha tu ojaha smridam. And that ojas hridayasthidam, still vyapi, and it is dehasthiti nibandhanam. It acts as dehasthiti nibandhanam. It is snigdham by nature, somatmagam from by origin, shuddham in its stuff, ishal lohita pitagam in its appearance. And how this dehasthiti nibandhanam is explained further. So dehasthiti nibandhanam is one hint, and now it is elaborated. Yan nashe niyadam nashaha. Yan nashe niyadam nashaha. Yan nashe yasya nashe. Upon the nasha of which dehasya nashaha niyataha. Niyataha. It is assured. It is determined. Guaranteed. Nashaha niyataha. Sure. So yasya nashe dehasya nashaha niyataha. Prananashaha niyataha. Yasmin tishtadi tishtadi. And tishtadi, sustains, continues to exist. When yasmin tishtadi, as long as this ojas continues to exist, body also continues to exist, life also continues to exist. Then, so that is dehasthiti nibandhanam. Now, nishpadyante yataha bhavaha vividhaha deha samsrayaha. Yataha, from which देह संश्रयाः विविधाः भावाः निष्पद्यन्ते. You should know that it is from this principle that deha samshrayaha vividhaha bhavaha. Deha samshrayaha vividhaha bhavaha. Different vividhaha bhavaha. All traits, all traits, all attributes, all representations of life, chetana, which are present in different forms and different grades in the Sharira, are all originating from Ojas. Deha samshrayaha vividhaha bhavaha yataha nishpadyante. So now in 5 lines we find the introduction of a principle which is attributed with a high end list of functions. There are many issues in the proper understanding of Ojas, which is never ending. Many issues. So I will read the 5 lines once again for a careful listening. Ojastu tejo dhadunam shuklandanam param smrudam hridayasthamabi vyapi dehasthiti nibandhanam snigdham somatmagam shuddham ईशल्लोहितपीतकम् यन्नाशे नियतं नाशो यस्मिंस्तिष्ठति तिष्ठति निष्पद्यन्ते यदो भावाः विविधाः देहसंश्रयाः. विविधाः देहसंश्रयाः. So what is Ojas? There are many ideas behind this. At one point, I think before coming to that, I think we should read the explanation given by Vagbhada in Ashtanga Sangraha also, which will be giving us some more understanding about how the idea of Ojas is conceived. In Sangraha we find Tejo yal sarvadhadunam Ojastal paramuchyate Mrudu somatmagam shuddham raktamishal sapidakam. Next line. Yal saramadav garbhasya yacha garbharasad rasaha samvartamanam hridayam samashrayadi yad pura yad sharira rasa sneha prano yatra pradishthidaha yasya anashananashosti prinita yena dehinaha hridayasthamabi vyabi tatparam jivitaspadam. Whatever we have seen in Ashtanga Hridaya is there in Ashtanga Sangraha verses as well. But there are certain things which are given as some additional qualifications. तेजो यत् सर्वधातूनाम् ओजस्तत्परमुच्यते मृदु सोमात्मकं शुद्धं रक्तमीशल सपीतकम्. No much difference. Then yat saramādau garbhasya, yad garbhasya ādau sāraha, yad garbhasya ādau sāram. So it is told that it is this ojas which acts as the saram of garbha in its adi beginning. Saram means the essence. So in the garbha adi, the formation of garbha in the garbhashaya, one principle which acts as the foundation, the sara, the essence for that formation and evolution further, it is this ojas. Yat saram adau garbhasya, yaccha garbharasad rasaha, yad garbharasad rasaha cha, and that ojas garbharasad rasaha is a better quality rasa than the rasa of the garbha itself. Garbha has got some rasa representation to start with its journey, which is supposed to be the best that a system can produce, because it is all about procreation. So the best is always kept apart for that progeny. And here it is told that, at least to make a better understanding, that ojas is still better than the best that can be created by a system for its progeny. Yacha garbharasad rasaha. So all these things, all these narrations actually throw some light to the way in which this principle called ojas is conceived in Ayurveda or in our text. Yacha garbharasad rasaha. Then samvartamanam hridayam samashrayadi yat pura. Samvartamanam, this is getting generated in the system. This ojas is getting generated in the system, and once it is formed, pura hridayam samashrayadi. To start with, it takes hridayam as its base or seat. Hridayam samashrayati. And yat charira rasa snehaha Yatra pranaha pradishtitaha. This ojas is the sharira rasaha snehaha yatra pranaha pradishtitaha. So yatra pranaha pradishtitaha sa snehaha saha sharira rasaha snehaha. So this sneha called or sneha bhava called ojas is a basic prerequisite for the bondage of prana with the jada sharira. An essential prerequisite. Yasya anashal na nashosti. As long as there is no nasha for the ojas, there is no nasha of the being. Yena dehinaha prinitaha. And it is with this principle called ojas that the creatures or human beings or whoever it is, need not be uh, human beings, all the any prani, they are prinitaha. They are all prinitaha. The sort of a prinanam. Prinanam we have learned, which is some sort of a sandarpana bhava, which we saw as the dharma of rasadhatu. So that aspect is maintained by the help of ojas as well. So that shows the interconnectedness between the manifestation of ojas and the presence of rasadhatu. Hridayasthamabi vyabi tad param jividaspadam tad param jividaspadam. That is, which is we saw as dehasthiti nibandhanam. Dehasthiti nibandhanam in Ashtanga Hridaya. So here we find something quite mysterious, quite enigmatic. We don't understand what is this, especially because the chapter started with a statement called Deha Dhadu Mala Moolam Sada Dehasya. So the Upadana Karana of Sharira is three: Dosha, Dhadu, and Malam. And now we find a principle which was not included in the Prakrita Dharma of Dosha, Dhadu, or Mala, in the Vikrita Dharmas of Dosha, Dhadu, or Mala. All of a sudden, a new character enters to the center stage and claims many things. I am this, I am that, I can do this, I can do that. It is because of me that you are living. If I go, you will die. All these statements. So it is quite strange, as if a character which was not there originally in the screenplay enters to the stage and start taking over the entire play. So that is why it is a bit enigmatic. What is this principle and what this story is all about? We find this term ojas in many contexts, isn't it? In the textbook itself, we will find this in various situations, and we can find somebody put those contexts together, like dhadunam tejasi, which we have seen. Then sometimes in rasa we will find the explanation. I mean the that idea of tejas is connected. Rase, which we found in Ashtanga Sangraha as well. Yat Sharira Rasa Snehaha. Then Tadha Jivida Shonide. In Jiva Shonita, we can find the sapna of this ojas. Then Shleshmani Prakrite. We find it in Charaka Samhita, isn't it? Prakritastu balam shleshma, Vigrudo balam mala uchyade, Sachaiva oja smritaha, Sachaiva oja smritaha. So that Shleshmani Prakrite Vaidyaihi ojas shabda prakirtitaha. There are different situations where we can find this shabda of ojas is uh, expressed. Then uh, how should we understand this concept of ojas? As we all know, one important point explained here is yet saramadav garbhasya. Yad saramadav garbhasya. So during the process of Shukrartava Samyoga, the Garbha Utpatti happens, and it is to this Garbha as such has got different meanings. At one point, it is the product of the combination of Shukrartava, to which one important phenomenon should happen, which is quite essential. Otherwise, you cannot expect the Garbha to manifest live, isn't it? That we are seeing it in the explanations as conceived it in Ayurveda. Garbha sambadhyade yukti vasad agni divaranau. Yukti is of this Shukrartava Yojana. Then during that Yukti, तेजो यथा अर्करश्मीनां स्फटिकेन तिरस्कृतं नेन्धनं दृश्यते गच्छद् सत्वो गर्भाशयं तथा. So that sattva anupravesham, jiva anupravesham or atma anupravesham is also happening simultaneously with along with the fusion of that Shukrartava Samyogam. That is very essential. And to, so that is the Garbhadi. So during that process of Shukrartava Samyoga, that moment of Garbhadi, there should be something as a Sneha Bhava which provides or which makes it a suitable candidate for the Sattva Anupravesha. So to begin with, ojas should be understood as that particular component. So is it about something which is other than dosha, dhadu or mala? No. Is it dosha? No. Is it dhadu? In the precise sense, no. Is it mala? In the precise sense, no. Then who is it? It is the representation of the status of sneha in terms of its brilliance, its clarity, its purity, and which assures. There are many stories about the Garbhavakranti. Why should one? From where does this Atma actually the word you hardly find the word Atma in Ashtanga Hridayam or Ashtanga Sangraham, because I think it is because of some philosophical prejudices or philosophical inclinations. Instead, we will find the word Sattva. Okay, fine, no problem. So from where does this Sattva come, or why does the Sattva come? Swakarma klesha choditaha sattvaha. And it is बीजात्मकैर् महाभूतैः सूक्ष्मैः सत्त्वानुगैः च सह मादुश्चाहाररसजैः क्रमात् कुक्षौ विवर्धते. It's a complex procedure. That merger of sattva with the panchabhautika pinda, and for that merger and to establish it as life, jiva, chetana, prana, the quality of sneha with which that fusion is happening is very important. And at that point of time, ojas simply represents the brilliance or the standard of that sneha. So it will be manifested as a sneha, but it will not be something like rasadhadu, rektadhadu, or mamsadhadu. So it is a rudimentary form, or a crude form, or a primary form, or a preliminary form of sneha, which has got the potential to further get evolved into the complete form of Sharira with all the Sneha Bhavas in terms of Dhadus are concerned. So our understanding of Ojas starting from that point, and it develops in the same way of understanding. Wherever we find with the Ojas in this context, it shows the principle of Sneha, which facilitates the bond between Sattva and Sharira, or Atma and Sharira, which facilitates so that bond can be extremely strong, somewhere in between, and also can be on the lowest possible level. But as long as that bonding is there, life sustains. And the moment that facility or the facilitator is missing, the bond between the sattva and the sharira is that stops to continue, or that bond terminates. And we should understand that this sneha in the garbhadi, and from the moment of fusion along with that entry of sattva, jiva, prana, with enormous speed, Agni is working in it. So the further quality of sneha will obviously be defined or decided by the way in which Agni is going to work in it. So it is a small unit of sneha into which that Atma or Jiva or Sattva is introduced, and from that moment onwards the plant, the machine is operational by one principle of Agni. So that way, from the Dvidiya Matra onwards, the quality of Sneha is going to be defined by the way in which the Agni is going to operate. So from that Dvidiya Matra onwards, Saragitta Vibhajanam also starts. In the beginning it was not there, but from the moment the Agni start operating, Saragitta Vibhajanam also starts. And that Sneha is going to, the Sneha Sara in it, or the Sara Rupa Sneha is going to represent the way in which the Agni is operating. So it is something like when you say the brilliance or the excellence of the Sneha being produced in a Garbha, maybe Dvidiya Matra onwards, will mirror, will reflect the principle of Agni which is operating behind. So that way, it is something like Sneha which reflects Tejas, or Jala which mirrors Agni. So that idea is very important in understanding what Ojas is. Ojas is a representation of life, is a manifestation of Sneha, and a reflection of Agni. That is why we find this sort of contradictory words. It is Somatmagam, but at the same time Tejas. It is Somatmagam, still it is having Agneya Varnas like Lohita Pitakam. Because it is all about a system. So whether it is a Dravya, technically you can call it as a Dravya. Because it has got Guna, it has got Karma. But it need not be understood as a Vastu, a material, or a substance in its conventional meaning. But it is a Dravya technically. In the same way as we consider Kala as Dravya or Desha as Dravya, here Ojas is also a Dravya. But it never breaches the Pradijna Dosha Dhadu Malamulam Sada Dehasya. And there can be many other shades of meaning possible for understanding Ojas, which we may do in the lines to follow. When we understand what is happening to the Sharira when Ojas is Dushta, what is happening to Sharira when the Ojas is Kshina, we will be getting a clearer idea about this principle called Ojas. So I think we will stop our session today. I think we have discussed many aspects. I have tried to give you the idea about a principle which is otherwise a, a mysterious candidate. And let us stop our session today right now. We will be continuing in our next session. Thank you very much.
Prasad sir,
Yes, Nilesh.
yes, yes. If there are no queries, we can call it for the day today, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Prasad sir, for such a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone. Shubharatri.
Shubharatri to all.